At that point, my confidence was off the charts. Bills, Broncos, they lose. Highlights of the game brought to you by Northland Workforce Training Center. Train for what's next. The Bills got the lead, and then they got the ball, and Allen drops and hits the top of his drop and throws the ball to Kincaid. Not the touchdown, but just like a first down, bang. And my buddy and I turned to each other like, this game's over. Like, they made it through the mire. They made it through the messiness. And now they have the lead. They have the ball. They're going to go down, score another touchdown, put this game away, and that'll be that. And instead, they get held to a field goal. And then in overtime, of course, they ultimately lose. Jeremy and Joe talking about it. The other sequence I'm thinking about, Prater hits a 50-yarder, right?
Yeah.
Great. I mean, thank you, Matt Prater. He was great in the postseason.
He was really great all year.
He was. And that 50-yarder, first down, second down, third down, they go nowhere.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, on first down, let's get a little closer for our guy here. We have time. Get a little closer. And they go nowhere. And Prater ends up kind of bailing them out there. Because if they had missed a 50-yarder, what would we say? How could you not get 10 more yards? How could you not get closer? You had time. You had plays.
Yep.
Anyway, Bills lose. I have a Twitter poll up, just like a temperature check on this, because this is the day to do it. If you were to say goodbye to one, Bean or McDermott, who would it be? And we'll get you the results. Joe Brady completing head coaching interviews with the Miami Dolphins and the Baltimore Ravens. And anybody else? Those are the only two right now?
Only two I've seen. The Atlanta job is off the table, right, because Kevin Stefanski went there.
Okay.
And I think he interviewed there 2 years ago. He had one interview 2 years ago, and I think maybe he was in Atlanta, but they did not circle back on him.
All right. That's how they hired their last coach, too.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Raheem Morris, like they did an interview, didn't hire him, and then a couple years later he gets the job.
I don't think he's a favorite, though, in either one of those places by any means. Like, wouldn't it be surprising if he got one of those jobs?
Yeah. Aaron Kromer.
I'm not expecting it.
Aaron Kromer, Bills offensive line coach, retiring.
Yep.
Big change to their run game. Like, is he their run game coordinator? I mean, he gets a lot of credit for development of their offensive line players, and maybe we'll find out a little bit more about Kromer's role, but him leaving might spell the beginning of goodbye for Brady no matter what. I don't know if they trust Brady for the whole operation. Thomas in South Florida. Thomas, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Just a couple of things about the game, and you were talking about that sequence when Buffalo missed Knox and this thing to Shakir. That puts them up 27-23 with 3 minutes. And, again, Nix goes right down the field. And this happens every year, and I feel that if McDermott doesn't leave, that they should hire a real defensive coordinator that can just take over the defense, because the philosophy that they have just doesn't work. And second, if you look at the games over the weekend, 10, 17, 16, 33. Josh Allen has to play that way because he knows he needs 40 points to win. These other quarterbacks can play close to the vest and miss passes, and it's just I don't understand how they just need to do something on that side of the ball. The offense is putting up 30 every week.
Well, Thomas, there is a major difference in some of those scores.
What's that? Go
ahead and give Mike McDonald or DeMeco Ryans the talent the Bills have on defense. You're not seeing 10. 6,
okay, but
16.
Right, but that's the excuse every year. Every year.
No, not the 13 seconds here.
Not quite every year.
Not the 13 seconds here.
Not quite every year.
Yeah.
But why is it?
But hold on. I'm going to let you talk.
Okay.
You say excuse, you might be excuse, reason, whatever. I mean, the Bills, and this is a larger point. I'm not here to just defend McDermott. And if he gets fired and they move to somebody else, like, I'm fine. But even when they're healthy, this is a team that does not have star defensive players. They of course have attacked the defensive line and signed defensive linemen relentlessly throughout this entire time, and they still never get their returns on those players. If you want to ask why, I mean there are a number of different roads you could take in terms of where you would get.
Well, I'm just saying in their playoff exits, they're averaging giving up 33 points a game.
Yeah,
in under the last 6 years, and McDermott is a system defense. He thinks he can plug and play anybody. That's why you got Balen Spector still
No, that's not why you have those guys out there. You have those guys out there because the guys that are supposed to play are hurt.
Why don't they go outside of the organization to get back? I mean, they put in Savage. Well, they had Hancock.
Savage was outside of the organization.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you want to go outside. Savage is outside. They claimed him.
But he didn't play.
He did play.
my
He gave up a
point.
touchdown. Savage
That's
did
my
play.
point, but he didn't play during the regular season. Hancock was playing, and all of a sudden, the biggest game of the year, you're putting a guy who hasn't played. Again, bringing AJ Klein in.
Why?
They had Dorian
Thomas, got to be realistic.
You're down to
man.
your fourth string.
You got to be
safety,
realistic.
man,
Why did they put a fourth string lineman in? They didn't bench the starter. They put players in because they didn't have a choice. Why did they play Kyer Elam in last year's AFC Championship game? They had to. Benford got knocked out.
Right.
If you want him fired, fine. You want to talk about the depth. I just feel like if you're talking about what the defense is and isn't, it is every bit on the way it's built. Every bit on the way that it's built. The underrated part of when the GM came on to, chat about the draft with us and talk about receivers and it went so viral, the underrated part was how it's the defense, it's the defense, it's the defense. We got to fix that. It is not a new regime. The defense has been built by this regime.
Yep.
And if it's a package deal or if it's just Brandon Beane, they have poured an immense amount into their defense. Draft capital all over the place. And if it's not for a Benford hit and a Bishop hit, then going back to Jordan Poyer this year, that was not supposed to be the plan, and you had to go to it. And Jordan Phillips not supposed to be the plan, you had to go to it. They were torn up defensively. They don't have Max Hairston out there. He would have been playing if he's healthy. They don't have whatever. I don't want to go too far, sounding like I'm just defending McDermott, but the reality is they don't have the horses on defense, and everybody knows it.
You know the one thing they do have, though? They had their defensive ends healthy. And I saw a stat last night that was incredible. That all their playoff losses, you have to go back to the 2020 AFC Championship game to get to the last time a defensive end for the Bills had a sack. The final game of the year.
Yeah.
The last guy, defensive end, that had a sack in their final game of the year was Jerry Hughes. 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Bosa was there, and he was. Can we be we talked all year about hey, give me 8 sacks from him and just have him healthy for the playoffs, and I would take that because what were we hoping for? A fresh Bosa in the playoffs could help you. He was non-existent, and then he got lucky that they called a penalty on Taron Johnson because he almost had the dumbest play of the entire football game.
That's right.
4 seconds after the ball was gone because he was annoyed that he hadn't been there all day. He decides to blast Bo Nix.
Yeah.
I mean, he did nothing for you.
Well,
and listen, Greg Rousseau is a good player, but Greg Rousseau doesn't have a sack in any of these games that have decided the season.
Right, they didn't even really have any pressure. And in this game, listen, this might ring hollow because this player is not often that big a deal. Losing Dorian Williams on the first play was big.
Yeah,
Dorian
he
Williams
was probably going to be their spy or something.
Dorian Williams is the guy that was going to be probably your mirror spy who's going to wait and then go get Bo Nix instead of him running for first downs over and over and over. But you got to make it work without Dorian Williams. And it's just.
Do we know his status, by the way? Wasn't he in the hospital?
He went to the hospital. Yeah. I have not seen
neck injury.
I have not seen the latest update on him. 803-0550 to join us. 180. Thanks, Tom, for the phone call. 30 points against. Give McDermott that Houston defense. You know what they'd give up? They give up 10. Give them Seattle's defense. Draft. That's the thing. Where are you going to get your defensive ends? The Bills, where have they got their defensive ends? Bosa is, an older guy. Let's give him some money and see how this goes. It's a modest signing. Mm-hmm. Rousseau is a late first-round pick. Epinesa is a second-round pick. Then I got Michael Hoyt, who's a middle-tier contract, and we're looking at him as this great hope of a guy that could have been a major difference maker, and maybe he will going forward. But I am once again where I am at the end of every year, where I am afraid that they will once again chase getting the other quarterback on the ground. Mm-hmm. Okay? Good luck.
Because they can't. They keep failing.
Since 13 seconds, they watched 13 seconds, and the answer was we got to get a quarterback on the ground, and they haven't done it since.
No.
They don't get a guy on the ground. So one more draft of 3 defensive ends. Take your receiver in the 5th round. Happy that he ran a 4.6 and say he's faster than that.
I mean, they really might do it. They're going to want Bosa back?
They maybe should.
I don't know.
They're already over the cap. They got to make a bunch of moves, and Bosa's dead money on them.
And how many other ends you got? You got Rousseau.
You got Epinesa.
And Epinesa. That's it.